Hi. I just wanted to finish up a Turning Point, TNA 2024. And so I had already talked about everything in this pay-per-view. This is actually my third part to this. And I just want to talk about Nick Nemeth versus Eddie Edwards, with Alicia Edwards. Now, first of all, Eddie Edwards, I got introduced with him when I started watching TNA in 2020. And he's always, in the top contender to this title. Like, he has had so many title opportunities since I've watched him. Excuse me. And he deserves it. I'm not saying he doesn't. He deserves it. He always has a spot in that main event. He always has a spot. And who knows, maybe one day he'll be world champion. He's already been world champion in this company. So why not, right? But anyway, this was a good match. Now, we already knew that Alicia was going to interfere. And I have something to say about that. Okay? Because fine, whatever. Referees in TNA are blind sometimes. Things happen right in front of them and they don't even care. But once don't they have any authority? Like, once they say something, isn't that the way it is? Because I keep seeing this happen with the system over and over again, specifically Alicia Edwards. Okay? Because this is what happened. It was a good match. They're going back and forth, right? Who gets involved? Alicia Edwards. She keeps getting involved. And she gets caught. She gets caught by the referee, and the referee get the hell out, right? And so she leaves. Okay? And then she gets to come back. That right there should have been a disqual. I don't know. There should be something there. Because this lady, you cannot... First of all, that just means that TNA referees have no authority whatsoever, right? Because if they can't even get their person who's been thrown out one time to stay outside of the ring, what the hell is the point of throwing them out of the ring in the first place? Make it make sense. I'm sorry. I just had a side vent. But anyway. So she was interfering. She got thrown out, right? But then what ended up happening, because Eddie Edwards, I don't think he needs really someone to interfere, but since he's a heel, right? Why not? But what ended up happening is that Eddie Edwards and Nick Nemeth were going back and forth, right? It got to the point where Nick hit Eddie Edwards with his finisher, the danger zone, and Eddie Edwards kicked out. And it was the other way too. Eddie Edwards hit Nick Nemeth with his finisher. It's slipping my mind. I'm so sorry, but he hit him with his finisher, and he kicked out, right? And he kicked out. Now, I'm not doing it in order, but I just felt like this was this match. We had a lot of close, near falls in this match, right? And then in between all this stuff, Alicia comes back. She got thrown out, but she comes back, right? And so she comes back to help her man, And she hits Nick Nemeth in the head with his championship. And, you would think Edwards would get the 1, 2, 3, but he doesn't. Eventually, Nick kicks out, right? And then JBL, I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell's going on. JBL comes out, right? Because, the system, the other half of the system has to come out. And so Alicia's not alone. She's not the only one. If I'm correct, Brian Myers came out in his whole turkey costume, right? 'Tis the season. He came out in his whole turkey costume to go help Eddie Edwards. Because Alicia trying to, hitting Nick with the championship didn't work. And so Eddie was the next in line, right? JBL comes out, hits Brian Myers with, the clothesline from hell. Does what he's been doing for the past few months, helping out Nick Nemeth, basically. And then, Nick Nemeth gets up, hits the danger zone again, and 1, 2, 3, he wins and he retains his title. I have a question. I have many questions, but I have a question. I already talked about Alicia Edwards. Why didn't Joe Hendry was here. Why didn't he come out? I mean, he keeps saying, trust Nick Nemeth, that he knows everything JBL's doing, that he's doing it. Why didn't he come out and confront JBL? I don't understand. Why didn't he come out? Because he's been saying this whole time, oh, you knew, Nick. It is you. It's your plan. And yet he didn't do anything. He don't get me wrong, he won his match, which is what he said he was going to do. But then JBL was here. He was here and he was not here after that. So, again, I don't understand why, you would think Joe Hendry would come out and ask him point blank, to JBL, hey, you working with Nick, and you caused me my match. Anyway, regardless, Nick Nemeth retains his title, which I knew he would. That was my prediction. He's not gonna. And mind you, he has amazing contenders. Santana is like nipping at his heel. Kaz has that call your shot gauntlet. The call your shot thing, and then Joe Hendry is still in it. He's still talking about it, even if he's in the back of the line. And he just beat Eddie Edwards. So there's a whole bunch of contenders for this title. Things are just heating up. Things are heating up. And then, I'm not a fan of this whole JBL storyline. I'm not going to lie about it. I feel like it's really, really random. We're not really getting an explanation. It's just rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And I don't like that sometimes because repetition is boring after a while. But one day we do have to say why he's here. Why he keeps getting involved in the main event when Nick Nemeth is involved. I think Ryan Nemeth has something to do with this, but that's just my theory, I think he's behind this, and maybe Nick doesn't know. Or maybe it's both of them. Maybe it is Nick and Ryan that know. I don't know. But anyway, that's how it ended. I love TNA, so I think their wrestling is great. Even when they do a random match on their pay-per-view, it always turns out to be a good match. So I don't mind them at all. I'm glad that, we had this pay-per-view, and I can't wait to see the next one.